Hello friends, so in this session we are going to discuss about input module of PLC. The learning outcome of this lecture is that a student will be able to understand and comprehend input module of programmable logic controller. Now we know that programmable logic controller is nothing but an industrial computer, and so it has different kind of inputs and outputs. Now inputs are generally the status of switches or process variable information which is extracted by sensors, right? So the information from various push button limit switches or sensors or process variable data is input to PLC, and which is to be processed by a central processing unit. And whatever inputs are received, they are processed as per the program written by the user, and accordingly outputs are updated. Now outputs are given to the field devices which are actually actuators, right? Either they're solenoid valves, motors, there are some you can say alarm bells, indicator lamps, something like that. So they are field devices. So outputs are also different, inputs are also different. So to interface these input devices with the PLC, you require input module, and whatever decision is taken by the CPU of the PLC, if you want to communicate to the output field devices, you require output module. So in this session, we would like to see how input module works in case of PLC. So what are the inputs to PLC? We have inputs in the form of status of push buttons, limit switches, proximity switches, right? These statuses are either on or off. So there are only two status, two levels, two options are there. They are also known as discrete or digital inputs. Similarly, other option of input is that measured values of process parameters such as temperatures, pressure, humidity, flow, velocity, and whatnot. So they are measured by different sensors, and ultimately the variable available or the input available to PLC is in the form of voltages and current signals which are varying in a range. These are known as analog inputs, which can take any value in a given range, right? While discrete or digital inputs can take several predefined values only, right? So there are two types of inputs. So definitely there are going to be two types of input modules. One which can handle digital input or known as digital input module, which has only two status on or off, and the other is analog input module, which actually reads the process information data which is available in the form of time varying voltage and current signals, and it is communicated to the PLC CPU. So now let's see the discrete input AC module, right? So in discrete input also AC and DC both modules are available. So suppose AC module is there with 230 volt AC or 120 volt AC input module. So here it is shown in the figure. So this is the input module. Now assume that switch 1 is pressed over here. When switch 1 is on, with respect to common, 230 volt is available at the terminal number 1, right? That is the function, that is how the input AC module works. So now that 230 volt signal which is now available at terminal number 1 is to be sent to CPU. Now CPU definitely cannot read 230 volt or cannot handle it. It is handling digital logics in form of ones and zeros. So you need to convert this 230 volt AC inside this module itself into logical signal. So we'll see how it is done. Similarly, when in some of the field situations you have 120 volt AC supply available, so there you work with the 120 volt AC input. So that means when switch is pressed, 120 volt is available at the terminal number 6 over here, right? So likewise, you can have different, you can say, voltages at which this discrete input modules work. 120 volt AC, 230 volt AC, you can have 24 volt AC, 48 volt AC, and so on and so forth. So depending on the field situation and available voltage supply, control supply which is available, there in the field, these voltage levels are used. Now, inside the discrete input module, what happens? Obviously, the processor or CPU reads in the form of TTL logic zeros and one, that is 0 volt or 5 volt DC. And AC input available voltage can be 24 volt DC, 48 volt DC, 120 volt, AC, 230 volt AC, and so on and so forth, right? So when a switch is pressed, as we have seen in the previous slide, at a particular pin, 230 volt AC, 120 volt AC, whatever is the voltage level is available. Now that voltage level is AC. So first rectifier is used to rectify it. Then there are some filter and other circuits not shown over here. Then there is the level detection. So if a high level is there, that means when switch is pressed, a reasonably high voltage should be available after rectification. That is decided by the level detection. And if it is there, it is going to generate a high signal through an optical, you can say opto isolator. And that high signal is transmitted optically. So you have isolation also, and now we have converted that high voltage 230 volt into logic level 1. So that logic level is then transferred to the other side of optical isolation, opto-isolator, optocoupler. And then that logic is read by CPU and stored in an input status file. Likewise, all the inputs are read and an input status file is updated. Once all inputs are read, they are passed on to the program cycle. Their program scan, that means program execution begins, and accordingly outputs are updated. This is one more example of how switch. This is the example is for DC module, but it also works in the same fashion that you have a DC supply available, 24 volt DC, 48 volt DC, 120 volt DC, and 230 volt DC. Or these are various options available. So when a switch is pressed at a particular input, popularly known as a channel, that particular voltage is available. Then it is converted into that optical signal using light emitting diode. And there is a photosensitive transistor, the other side, which detects the high signal and generates a high level or one at the, and it gives to the CPU. And that is popularly known as optocoupler. Now, analog input module is the other story of the other variety of the input, where process variable, which is varying, say temperature, which is varying in a certain range. According to that, a sensor is there, temperature sensor is there, transducer is there, which reads this temperature, and its variation is interpreted in terms of, say, time varying voltage or current. So that signal is fed to input analog input module of PLC. So this is not a two-level value. It is nothing but a voltage or current which is varying in a range. So this analog input module converts process variables measured by sensors into form which is suitable for CPU or PLC. Now, what is the form which is suitable? CPU reads digital information. So whatever analog value you have, suppose I have a 0 to 5 volt voltage representing temperature. So whatever is the value of voltage, that has to be converted into digital, and that information should be sent to CPU, right? So that is the job which is to be done by analog input module over here. So available in the form of analog signals, voltage and current. Typical analog inputs which are available are 0 to 10 volt DC, minus 10 volt to 10 volt DC, 0 to 5 volt DC, 0 to 20 milliampere current, minus 20 to 20 milliampere, 4 to 20 milliamperes, right? So depending on what sensors are there and what is the variety available, you may have this typical variations in analog input voltage or analog input current. So accordingly, you require a circuit which converts these into digital form. So obviously, when you have analog signals, you want to give it to CPU in the form digital form, you require analog to digital converter, right? So here you can see this is what is there inside the analog input module. So whatever analog signal is read by a sensor, then there's analog to digital converter which converts that analog value in the digital form. Then you have an optical isolation, so that you have isolation between CPU and the field device. and that information which is now in digital form, say 8-bit, 16-bit or 32-bit, so that is stored by CPU in a data table for storage. Popularly 2, 4, 8, 16 or 24 input channels are available for analog input. Similar input channels are also available for discrete or digital inputs also. These are the typical pictures of input modules. PLCs may have separate input and output modules, or you have I/O modules also, where some certain pins are working as an input module, certain pins are working as an output module, right? So this is Siemens and other PLC module input/output module pictures I am showing you on the screen just for your reference, right? So this is how the input module works. In short, PLC reads data from the field devices, and PLC can understand data in the form of ones and zeros only. So whatever it is status of the button pressed on or off, or whether it is a information from various sensors, say temperature, pressure, and flow, and other. So all those informations are converted in a suitable form using input module, and then it is given to CPU. CPU stores it in an input status file or in certain tables. Then it executes it, the program, with the help of the input, and then it updates the output. So in next video, we'll see how the output module of a PLC works, right? That's all in this session. We'll continue with the output module in our